So what does it really take to find redemption? I mean, is it just saying you're sorry? Is it some kind of grand gesture? The film, Before It Happened, really dives deep into this question, and it does it through one man's intense struggle with guilt, faith, and a past that just comes roaring back to life.
Right from the jump, the film hits us with this line from our main character, Eli, and it immediately pulls you into his head, you know? This is a guy who's clearly haunted by something big, some event that changed everything. This one quote, it just sets the entire stage for a story about questioning everything you thought you knew about second chances.
So the first time we meet Eli, he's on the job, and we learn right away that for him, the rules are, well, they're more like suggestions. He is the classic cowboy cop, and his methods are constantly putting him at odds with the very system he's supposed to be upholding.
And this opening scene? Man, it tells you everything you need to know about Eli's whole philosophy. While his partner Chase is begging him to follow the book, Eli gets this gut feeling, a hunch, that a kidnapped girl is inside the mayor's house. So he grabs a pizza box, bluffs his way inside, and actually pulls off the rescue. He gets the job done, but the way he does it creates this huge problem. And that right there is the central conflict of his character.
This really puts it all side by side, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got Eli's way, pure instinct, breaking rules, where the only thing that matters is the result. And on the other, you've got the department's very rigid system of warrants, protocol, and following orders. The thing is, Eli's methods work, but they also threaten the very foundation of the law he's supposed to be enforcing.
And here's the crazy part. Even though he's the hero of the day, he and his partner both get suspended. His lieutenant is just furious, tells him he better bury that cowboy act. This moment really sets up a key idea in the film. Eli's greatest strength, his intuition, is also his most dangerous flaw.
But Eli's recklessness, it isn't just about his job. As we're about to find out, it's all rooted in some deep, personal trauma, the ghost of a former partner and a wound that is clearly never healed.
Then we get this really quiet but super revealing scene. Eli is playing chess with his niece, Lizzie, who happens to be in a wheelchair. He teaches her a move called castling, which is used to protect the king. And when she asks when you're supposed to use it, his answer says it all. Whenever you feel your king needs protected. It's such a subtle moment, but it just lays bare the massive guilt he's carrying for failing to protect her. And this timeline, this explains everything. Years ago, Eli and his partner at the time, Bobby, they were supposed to take Lizzie to the theater, but they bailed for a last-minute assignment. And while they were gone, a shooting broke out. A stray bullet hit Lizzie and she was left paralyzed. That one incident just destroyed their partnership. The guilt was so heavy that Bobby ended up quitting the force and just vanishing.
And then, a bombshell drops that completely changes the direction of the story. Eli's boss, Lieutenant Whitmore, who also happens to be Bobby's brother, he reveals he has terminal cancer. And just like that, this isn't about police work anymore. This is a dying man's last desperate plea.
So the mission becomes crystal clear. Find Bobby, bring him home. And to sweeten the deal, the lieutenant dangles that sergeant promotion Eli has wanted for so long. It sets up this really complex motivation for Eli, right? It's a mix of personal ambition and this heavy sense of duty to a dying friend.
So what starts out as this personal mission to find one lost guy, well, it quickly spirals into a really dangerous dive into the criminal underworld. To move forward, Eli and Bobby have to confront not just their past, but a whole new deadly threat. When Eli and Chase finally track Bobby down, the reunion is, well, it's explosive. All those years of resentment just come boiling to the surface immediately. Bobby just unloads on Eli, blaming him for what happened to Lizzie, for derailing his whole career. It is so clear these wounds are still completely raw. And right in the middle of this argument, Bobby's messy new life comes crashing into theirs. A local criminal named Chet shows up and kidnaps Chase. Turns out, Bobby stole 2 extremely valuable basketball cards from him. So now, Chase's life depends entirely on these 2 estranged partners figuring out how to work together.
And from here on out, it is a mad dash against the clock. To get the first card back, Eli has to win this brutal underground fight. For the second one, they have to go to a black market dealer, only to find out the card is a fake and they've just walked into a trap.
The trap fails and the clock is ticking. They have just 40 minutes left. 40 minutes to get the real card and save Chase's life. The stakes could not possibly be any higher. Every single second counts.
In the middle of all this high-pressure chaos, a critical truth finally comes out. During a furious argument, Eli confesses why he wanted that promotion so bad. It wasn't about ego, it was about earning enough money to help take care of Lizzie. And this is the first time we really see the vulnerable person underneath that tough cowboy armor.
That confession, it's the story's emotional turning point. The mission isn't just about a promotion or a hostage rescue anymore. It has become this desperate road to redemption, where these two men have to find a way to save themselves from their own crushing guilt.
And this brings us right to the heart of the film. Eli has built his entire identity around being the lone hero, the guy who saves the day. But what happens when the savior is the one who needs saving? In this moment, stripped of his bravado and control, he is completely and utterly lost.
Just when it looks like all hope is lost, Bobby reappears. Turns out he had the real card the whole time, and he uses it to save Eli and Chase. By choosing their friendship over his own anger, Bobby takes that first crucial step toward fixing what's been broken for so long.
In the end, Eli loses his job. The whole cowboy act finally caught up to him. But what's really fascinating is that he doesn't seem to care. His priority has completely shifted. Now it's all about Bobby and his dying brother. It shows this fundamental change in what he actually values. This is Eli hitting absolute rock bottom, and it becomes his most honest, powerful moment. After the lieutenant dies, Bobby is just spiraling. And to pull him back from the edge, Eli sheds every last piece of his pride and admits his own brokenness. It's a total reversal. The self-reliant hero finally confesses that he needs saving too.
So after all the guilt, all the violence, and all the loss, the film finally comes back to that central question. What is the one final truth it has to offer us about finding redemption? In the end, Eli's narration looks back at all the different ways he tried to find redemption. Through apologies, heroic acts, trying to force his own version of the truth. The film kind of suggests that all these things, the ways we usually think about making things right, they all ultimately fall short. And this is the provocative idea the film leaves us with. It argues that true redemption can't be earned through our own actions or our own willpower. Instead, it comes from accepting a sacrifice that has already been made for us. It's a conclusion that shifts the entire focus away from human effort and points it toward faith. It's a really powerful final thought that challenges the very definition of what it means to be saved.